Remember what this podcast was supposed to be about?
Well, oh yeah, oh, fudge! Okay, real fast. Didn't you just see the new re-release? Did you do it, or did you not do it?
I didn't know. I didn't have anybody to go with. I didn't want to go by myself. I mean,
Go by yourself!
I do like going to see movies by myself sometimes, but I am traveling from out of state, and I just didn't want to spend time in a movie theater while I'm here.
Man, thinking, I saw Sinners. I had to see Sinners. See Sinners. Just see that. F Star Wars. I'm still done with Star Wars except for Andor. Andor's back. Have you seen any of the new episodes yet?
I haven't seen any of the episodes.
Me neither. I haven't seen the new one yet. I was rewatching the first season and I stopped right before the last episode, because I was like, so I could just roll right in. And I watched the last episode last night, so now I can roll right into the new season. I'm just excited. I'm not excited for Star Wars reasons. I'm excited for Ephesus Andor, tear it down, all that jazz. I'm excited for that. I'm excited. I'm scared though.
The Clone Wars series and the Jedi Survivor, they have given me a deeper interest in the character of Saw Gerrera.
Mm-hmm.
First time, I think, was it the first time everyone saw Saw Gerrera was in Rogue One, or was he already in the Clone Wars a little bit?
Rogue One.
Okay,
pretty sure. I think he was mentioned in books or whatever, maybe. Mm-hmm. But Rogue One.
Yeah, no, I have. So I'm definitely interested in seeing Andor season 2 specifically for that character because I've just grown a deep.
I just like Forrest Whitaker in anything.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, I still haven't rewatched Rogue One. I think I'm going to wait till after this season of Andor to watch Rogue One again, because I did not like it the first time I saw Rogue One.
Well, dude, I thought it was amazing.
I don't want to say I hate it.
It was
just didn't
so
like it.
refreshing when I saw that movie.
I like the vibe, the visual vibe of it.
I had a roommate at the time who recommended the movie to me, and he wasn't I don't think he was a huge Star Wars fan. Maybe he was. But he told me it was his favorite Star Wars movie when he left, and I think that's, big praise to just come out and say, even if you're not a huge fan, who chooses the new Star Wars movie to be the favorite, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that seemed like high praise to me. And when I went and saw it, I understood what he was saying. It was really good. I was just completely shocked.
Andor season 1, that's the thing. So when I saw Rogue One, I was like, I have no interest in watching Andor. Who the fudge is Andor? Cassian Andor or something else to watch.
Why isn't Ahsoka just called Tano?
I hate this stupid. I hate all these Star Wars shows. I hate Star Wars. I hate Star Wars so much. I hate it now. I think I officially. I'm at hate.
You hate Star Wars?
I hate I love Andor, but I hate Star Wars. So Andor season 2 or season 1. First 3 episodes, even watching it this time, I'm like, man, these first 2 episodes,
yeah,
snooze.
But
then after that, it's banger, episode after episode, everything. It's so great.
I appreciate a Star Wars show that could go and explore the universe outside of just Jedi,
Yeah.
Of course, I know, all of it's going on because, whatever. But, they're making, what everyone else has to go through, and I think that's really cool.
Have you seen the Skeleton Crew?
Yeah, I did.
I have not watched that, but I do want to watch it because it sounds like a fun vibe.
It was fun. Like everyone else is saying, it kind of reminded me of Goonies or whatever.
Mm.
Not because I felt the way I felt when I watched Goonies, but because I can see a kid watching this and being like, this is their Goonies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, because Goonies was made for kids too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that an adult would watch Goonies for the very first time in their life and be like, oh man, I gotta watch this again. I think they like it so much because they remember watching it as kids.
Exactly, and people who try to watch it now, they're like, "This movie's stupid. Why do you like it?"
It's good. It's a good movie. It's just it's just a little silly and campy, and that's exactly what Skeleton Crew was like. The only thing I didn't like about was just the very end, how the end was the sequence of it all, not really the story. It's just it just literally the very last couple minutes of how it ended. I just that was weird. I mean, it just didn't feel like an ending. It didn't feel. I don't know. It was strange.
You know what the next Star Wars movie is going to be?
I feel like I should say yes because I looked it up once, but I don't remember.
It's called The Mandalorian and Grogu. Yes.
Yeah.
Which is a stupid title. The Mandalorian and Grogu. And Grogu's a stupid title. I hate Baby Yoda.
You know, I only think that the title is kind of stupid because I think that titles are important for marketing and, like, you want everyone to kind of, you know, if they don't like the name, if it doesn't roll off the tongue, I think that affects people's brains and wanting to go see it, you know?
Yeah.
There's a science behind it.
I understand they want to keep the word like, if the Mandalorian's in the movie and it's about the Mandalorian, obviously keep the word Mandalorian in the movie. Oh, goodness. You could call it Mandalorian the movie. That would have been fine.
They should have called it The Way, a Star Wars story.
Oh, that's better. That's better. If I could give a flip about this movie, the only reason this movie is happening is because the only thing they can trust right now is the Mandalorian and that stupid Baby Yoda.
I like the Mandalorian a lot. Yeah.
I watched the first episode and then I saw that Baby Yoda and then I stopped. I stopped. I was like, F this.
You haven't watched but one episode of The Mandalorian?
Or, you know, whenever you see the little baby hand come out.
Come on.
I know, but I've also only watched one episode of Book of Boba Fett. Guess which one? The Mandalorian episode. So I've seen 2 episodes technically of The Mandalorian, but it's of the Book of Boba Fett and 1 episode of The Mandalorian.
Here's the thing about Boba Fett. All right. When I've asked any adult in my entire life, you know, what they're... I say an adult. I'm an adult now, but like when I was a kid, growing up, watching Star Wars, so many people loved Boba Fett. Even now on Facebook, if you go on like whatever people ask, what was the favorite character, who would win, they're always like, oh, Boba Fett, Boba Fett. Well, at least they were before the show came out.
Mm-hmm.
I never got the hype. You know, I didn't care about Boba Fett. Like, I thought it was kind of cool that they included him in the prequels as a kid to show like how he started.
Right.
But the actual character that we've only ever seen up until, you know, when there were only 6 movies was just, like, very boring.
Yeah.
Very dull.
He was like, he saw his dad die, then he's thinking he went to go hunt them.
He was just a scoundrel,
once.
you know?
And then he
like,
died.
Yeah. And,
or died.
You know?
Mm.
And then, because I remember that thing he did with the alien in the chin.
I don't know. I don't even remember that.
Oh, yeah. I thought that was funny that they included that in the movie. But anyway, what was my point? Oh, yeah. He really just didn't do anything but die. I mean, he shot a couple times, but like he wasn't some badass. He didn't do cool flying, you know. He didn't do any cool tricks or whatever. And he died the most lame way. So
in a sandworm.
Yeah.
Like Dune.
Stay on Star Wars.
Just saying.
So, what was my trade
up? But so here's another thing though.
Wait. It's gonna come back to me.
Boba Fett.
1 second. Boba Fett, yeah, not a great character, and so like, I was really excited for the show when it was coming out because I was like, oh right, they're gonna give me a reason to love Boba Fett. They're gonna make him like super kick ass. And then like the entire arc was just about like compassion and empathy, and you know, and I'm just like, come on, just couldn't we have seen the badass version first,
and
then,
or have a flashback,
and then the
multiple
character
flashbacks?
development where, you know, he becomes better as a person. I don't know.
And what I liked about that first episode of The Mandalorian, I think it's like, it might be, I don't know, the first couple episodes, you don't see a whole lot of Baby Yoda. Like, you might see the hand, I don't know. But I think I saw the first couple episodes, whatever.
You've only seen the first episode, how would you know?
First 1 or 2. Maybe. I know it was, because I think they released the first 3 in a batch.
I can't remember.
And I think wherever Baby Yoda shows up in that more explicitly, I'm like, F this. But anyway.
You know why it's called The Mandalorian and Grogu?
Because his name's Grogu.
Yeah, okay.
I know his name. That stinking, stupid Baby Yoda.
I had to make sure.
I know, that's why I refuse to use it, you know this? I only call him Baby Yoda because that's what he really is.
No.
Yes.
That's not what he is.
Yes, he is.
He's the same species.
He's just a Baby Yoda.
He's literally not.
Okay. Show that picture to some, like, 60-year-old woman at, like, an old folks' home.
I've never heard anybody say 6-year-old woman.
No, I said 60.
Oh.
60-year-old woman, 60-year-old woman, say, "Who is this?" What are they gonna say?
You just said a 60-year-old woman in a nursing home. They're probably going to say it's Yoda.
Exactly.
They're not even going to say baby. They're just going to say it's Yoda.
There's a reason that stupid baby looks like that. They could have made it look like a stupid squid monster. They could have made it look like. This is a fake gun. Just making sure you know that. But anyway, they could have made it like a stinking anything. But no, they made it look like that green pointy-eared mother effer because they know people are going to think this is Yoda. Or a baby Yoda. Who knows? Who's to say it's not Yoda? Because people are still trying to say time travel is coming for Star Wars, which could be.
That's true. That'd be a really lame route to go at this point.
But I see it. I see it. And you know what's great? A lot of people see it. They're like, time travel's on the horizon. It's out there.
Time travel's already a thing in Star Wars.
Oh my god. Anyway, god dang it. Besides that, yeah.
Technically,
Oh,
it happened before the events of The Mandalorian.
oh my. Anyway, god dang it.
Yeah.
F all that. The point is, what I liked about Mandalorian, kinda, was he was like the replacement for Boba Fett. And it's almost like they did the Mandalorian because they were too scared to say it's Boba Fett until they had to be like, this is absolutely not Boba Fett. Like, yeah, it takes place after all the canon and all that jazz. But I feel like they could have been like, or even felt like maybe they were going to be like, well, actually, it's Boba Fett. Until they decided not to do that. When they were like, oh, this is actually fine being its own thing. Like, somewhere in the first season, I bet that if you just take that first season, I'm willing to bet, they may even have toyed with that idea. Be like, hey, this could be Boba Fett. I bet you.
Who?
The Mandalorian himself.
No, that wasn't toyed with at all.
You don't think so?
Not once.
You don't think so?
No.
You don't think so?
No, I don't.
Why does he look like Boba Fett then? They literally made this show, Boba Fett and Baby Yoda go across the
Because
universe.
I've seen the Clone Wars, and the demeanor was immediately different than what Boba Fett was.
Man, whatever. I'm also talking about the general. You gotta take into account the general audience. People, Grandma is gonna look at that and think, "Oh, look, it's Boba Fett and Baby Yoda."
Like,
Because Grandma needs to be represented. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think. No.
Man, whatever. I don't know. What other good? Is there any more good Star Wars stuff these days?
Well, first of all, I'm excited for the movie.
Okay.
I have high
That's
hopes
fair.
for it. Even because, like, I know it's just whoever's working on The Mandalorian. I think it's
Favreau.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and is Dave
Filoni. Yeah, he's involved. But I think it's definitely like this is like
I think a lot.
Favreau directed hardcore movie.
They're actual fans, of Star Wars. I think they changed some things that kind of annoyed me, but like overall, I think they're really passionate fans. And I don't know, did any of them do the Book of Boba Fett?
I mean, they probably had their fingers in it, because like the Mandalorian episode, obviously. I think Favreau might have even directed that episode, possibly.
Yeah, I think so too. But the Mandalorian episodes of that were like super good, as if they were just like extra episodes of the Mandalorian, and then it was just a completely different style and tone than the Book of Boba Fett, which was just kind of strange, a strange direction to go. But I'm not saying that like even though an artist can make something super good, it can't also be bad, because didn't like the guy who made Knives Out also make what was it, The Last Jedi?
Yeah, and I love The Last Jedi. F you.
Garbage.
F you.
Garbage.
I have that. I own one Star Wars movie.
Garbage.
It's one Star Wars movie. And it's on 4K. It's Star Wars: The Last Jedi right here.
Garbage.
I'll get it for you. I'll get it for you. It's next to Knives Out. Oh gosh, it's next to Knives Out. Whoops. There it is.
Of course it's
On 4K.
Garbage.
You not like Knives Out?
No, I love Knives Out.
Okay, good.
I love Knives Out, and I love the second one they did, Glass Onion.
Have you seen Poker Face? The show Poker Face?
No.
It's good.
But anyway, and so like I know Rian Johnson has talent. Is that who it is? Rian Johnson?
Yeah, it's Ryan Johnson.
Yeah, I know he has talent.
And he directed the 3 episodes of Breaking Bad.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Clearly he has talent. So what point was I making? Oh yeah. So this movie though, just pure garbage.
I love it.
Like
It's so pretty too. It's such a pretty movie.
I think it's pretty. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. It's a pretty looking movie. Some parts.
I would cut out all the Finn and Poe stuff. Just cut it out. It's useless. It's useless in the movie.
It's overboard.
I think they should do something, but it's all useless. In this movie, it's useless. Cut it. Like, in a perfect world, they should do something. But in this movie, just cut it out. Goodbye. Throw it away. What else?
Oh, the General Hux hold please thing. Oh, come on.
That's fine.
No.
That's fine with me.
No,
That's
that
fine
was
with me.
just
I actually like that whole beginning sequence with the bombs and all that jazz.
So cheesy.
I love cheese. I love cheese. I love corn. I love camp.
It was more than cheese, man. It was just.
I like. See, I didn't have appreciation. Another thing, I didn't have an appreciation for Laura Dern before this, but now after watching all those David Lynch movies, I'm like, okay, Laura Dern's in this. Hey, she's a purple-haired woman who yells at Poe. Although I do think that storyline's stupid. But also, so me and my brother, we watched. It might have been last year or the year before. We watched all the Star Wars movies again in a row. The sequels in a row. Just the sequels. Because we were like, oh, we never watched them all, like, straight through.
Right.
Like, we just watched them when they came out, and we just didn't go back. And it is weird. It is so weird. So, like, you watch Force Awakens, pretty good. Pretty good
I
movie.
mean, A New Hope 2.0.
Yeah, it's a New Hope 2.0, but
Yeah.
from beginning to end, still pretty good movie. And yet,
I did like it when it came out, The Force Awakens.
Mm.
I didn't correlate that myself, that all of those things were so similar to the first one.
structurally, it is similar. But, I mean,
Yeah, I found out, like, just by reading other reviews later, and they started making points, and I was like, now I can see it. But when I watched the movie, I thought it was good.
but also, I do think the pieces are different, at least. Like, Poe and Finn and Rey, those three characters are different enough from the OG three. Because,
Yeah,
like,
I did like that.
it's basically like you just took them three, put them in like a boggle thing, shook it up, and then split it up again, which is fine. I think it actually works in a cool way because it's like you still get the dynamics, but they're in different people, but still the same dynamics.
Yeah.
The only stuff I didn't love was Kylo Ren because just a lamer Darth Vader.
But that was the
movie.
point.
Yes, I know that's a point. You can't just defend it. I'm defending it right now. You're
You
just
said,
trying to defend it again.
But you just it's the point. That's exactly what they were going for.
Anyway, god dang it, after Force Awakens, we watched The Last Jedi, and here's the thing: The Last Jedi, when you're watching it in a row, at least for me and my brother Jacob, when we were watching it, it didn't like. Yeah, the Poe and Finn stuff is so boring and stupid, and like where they're going in the movie doesn't really make a lot of sense, and all this jazz, all that all this stuff that people complain about, whatever, all that jazz. But it only sort of feels more stupid because it, like, you find out by the end of the movie, most of it kind of culminates to nothing. Like, so just like pretty much most of the movie is okay, they're all standing still, and then that's it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you don't know that officially until the very end, and it's still cool action sequences and fun little scenes throughout the way.
Funny little things.
But it still felt like they're on a track, they're going forward, and it's chill.
All of the all of the jokes in the movie were so forced.
No, not all of them.
So forced.
Not all of them.
Yeah, maybe one.
I like the blue milk. I like the porgs. Some. I don't like all of it.
I didn't like it.
I
get the porgs. I get why they did it, but I mean, I think they could have just left them out.
They did the same thing. The third one in Rise of Skywalker. See, all the complaints.
I didn't like the porgs in there either.
Well, no, they weren't porgs. I'm talking about stupid Babu Freak. That effing little mechanic guy.
That's completely different than the porgs.
Oh my god. It's just another random, boring, cute character to just throw in and be like, look at this cute
He
thing.
literally did not get enough screen time that it mattered to me that character was in there at all. The Porgs, way too much. Way too much
Man.
screen time.
Well, I kind of liked it because Chewbacca had cooked one and ate one. That's fun.
Also, in The Last Jedi, breaking the lightsaber at the end,
Loved it.
pointless.
Loved it. Well, made pointless by Rise of Skywalker. You can't call it pointless because of The Last Jedi. Last Jedi tried to make it a point.
A director's job is to make the movie that they're making good, right? Regardless. And he should have made the movie good without thinking that he's going to get the job for the next movie.
Well, he didn't think he was getting the job for the next movie.
Wasn't he the screenwriter?
This was a
for
rule.
The
This
Last
was.
Jedi?
Oh my god. Oh, all your complaints are just there for Disney. This is what this. To all this, I'm gonna explain it. I'm gonna explain the history right here. All this was. All the plans were made long before Force Awakens was even started.
Lies.
No, shut up. You know what I'm saying. I'm saying the people who was directing and writing each of the movies. So J.J. Abrams, his job was to write and direct Force Awakens. Rian Johnson's job was to write and direct Last Jedi, and this guy Colin Trevorrow, who did the Jurassic World movies, he was to write and direct Rise of Skywalker is what it is now, but it was something else at the time. So all those decisions were made while The Force Awakens was being made. It was known. Rian Johnson was getting the second one. This guy Colin Trevorrow was going to get the third one. That was, cemented. J.J. Abrams did his movie. It's passed on to Rian Johnson. Rian Johnson didn't undo anything. People argue one thing. They don't love when, Rey gives him the lightsaber, and then Luke's just like, which I do like that. I love all that stuff. But the thing is, regardless, though, he did not undo anything from Force Awakens. He just made decisions people didn't like.
He definitely did that.
Now, The Last Jedi becomes super divisive. Disney gets scared. Colin Trevorrow, his script is out there. You can go find it. They took him off the movie because he made another movie that had bombed after he made Jurassic World called The Book of Henry, which it's just funny. That movie is ridiculous.
Isn't that a kids movie?
It's it was marketed as a kids movie, but it's not. The kid dies in the first 20 minutes. Spoilers. Anyway, it bombed. But anyway, they fire him. They don't know what to do. They were looking for directors, and the movie at this time, with the Star Wars deal, they wanted one every 2 years for the main trilogy, whatever. So they need to find one fast to get this movie out by 2018 or 19, whatever year it was. They beg J.J. Abrams to come back. They basically are like, here's a bucket of money, come back, fix this. And when they said fix this, they were literally like, undo all the things they didn't like in The Last Jedi, which he basically does in the first good 45 minutes of Rise of Skywalker. And that's why I'm saying that's his fault. That's J.J. Abrams' fault. He could have, and what Colin Trevorrow's script would have done, you could find it online, whatever, is, it would have, it may not have undone all the things that happened in The Last Jedi, but it would have taken the baton like it was originally supposed to be, take the baton, run with it, and he would have done, taken what came before and ran to its logical end.
In this other writer's version that you say the script is out there for, what happens with the lightsabers?
I think she has a new lightsaber in the beginning of the movie. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, you're right. That's literally all they had to do. Although it would suck if that lightsaber.
What I hate about the Super Rise of Skywalker is they basically unexplainably undo the brokenness of Luke Skywalker's lightsaber.
That was dumb.
And then they just give her a new one at the end. It's like, just give her a new one at the beginning. And then that gives kids a whole movie to look at that new lightsaber and be like, I want to buy that.
And she had all those Jedi tech, so she could have I'm sure
because you make one.
The Kyber crystals isn't maybe not how to make one, but the Kyber crystal information in there, and Force guidance and all that stuff.
Yeah, all that jazz.
It could have been something.
So it's like I hate when people are they poop on The Last Jedi and poop on Rian Johnson for this story being so clunky. I'm not saying The Last Jedi is a good movie.
Let's say this, right?
But I'm saying it's not as bad as people give it. People give it too much poop.
No. Let's say that everything that happened in The Last Jedi was perfectly followed up on in a movie that never happened, a third movie that didn't happen, written by the guy I was supposed to, whatever. It sucks.
The movie stays the same, yeah.
This movie still sucks because
I still think there are like some things they could have paid off better, like Captain Phasma. They could have made like she could have come back. She didn't have to die right there. Rose could have had more. Like writing her off is so demeaning and mean to me because they like Rose and you remember Rose the Asian one and like all right. Because in the third one, they basically just have her show up for 2 scenes, be like, "Okay, I'll stay here."
Yeah,
and that's effed up and mean.
Yeah, I would
like give her something to do. Don't just like. It's almost like
this person got bullied online, so let's just like completely cut her out of the movie.
Exactly, and like the whole first hour of the Rise of Skywalker, like it spends and this is a problem of the Rise of Skywalker is it takes too much time out of that movie trying to undo another movie when you could just be like. Okay, we get you don't like those things, and they could still fix those things as it's going. Like I said, give her a new lightsaber in the beginning of the movie. Just all these little things they could address throughout this new movie without having to literally, like, all right, everybody, let's haul you all back to these areas and undo everything. Let's get Kylo Ren over here and put his mask back together, unbreak it. All this stupid stuff. It's like, just roll with it. Like, good writing is... roll with the punches, even if you don't like some of those decisions.
I didn't like about them fixing the mask. I'm it's cool that they did it, but I just wish there was more of a, Kylo Ren using the Force, mending it back together or something with like
right
kyber crystal material or whatever. Just like anything.
If it glowed or something, that would be cooler.
I like the concept of what they were doing. I can't remember what the process is called in like the real world, because like. Asian cultures, they when something gets broken, they mend it back together with gold. I thought that was really cool.
And
but like I just wish like it just it was just here's my broken mask, fix it. Oh, it's fixed.
Man, it's just so. I hate.
Perfect opportunity to show some like dark force powers or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Something. The thing about the Rise of Skywalker though, when we watched it this last time. Was we both were like, it's not the worst. It literally is a movie that for us just sort of beats you into submit. It just throws so much at you so fast. You don't have time to. You can't judge it. You can't judge it anymore.
What, the Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah, like.
I have my different opinions about the Rise of Skywalker. I'm more upset. I'm still want to talk about this. I just want to talk about more about how this is awful.
Man, this is not. What else is there? What else is there that's so awful?
That's not Luke.
I know. I disagree.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Thinking he's old. It's been 30 years.
So? What No. I don't get no. All right. You do not spend 18 years of your life. Or 17, whatever, under the, Empire, and you don't fight against them, and see all the terrible shit that they've done, and then still want to forgive your father and say, there's good in him, there's a chance, and then, like, in this one, he has a nightmare, let me get my lightsaber out and kill 30, no, come on.
Obi-Wan?
No. What?
What did Obi-Wan do? Sit and do nothing for 30 years while the Empire reigned in terror?
Different.
And he knew him personally.
Different.
He knew him personally and directly involved in the stinking in that guy's personal terror, just like Luke was to Kylo Ren.
There was a purpose for them.
Things rhyme, George Lucas.
There was a purpose for them going into exile because they were trying to save the Jedi Order. They knew who they were protecting. They had a mission, right? This
same deal.
No, it's not.
Yes.
He was trying to rebuild his order. This guy had a bad dream. Instead of guiding him, trying to influence him
because he felt that because he sensed it, and he even said himself in the movie that he wasn't going to do it. It was just a hair idea that led to a snap decision, but Kylo was a kid, and all he could see was that. And I love the parallel of like. We know the fear that Luke has because he's seen the potentials of that evil already.
But he knew.
No, shut the fudge up, stinking. But I also love the idea of like his fear of that darkness is also a glimpse at his own personal darkness that is so mirroring Vader himself, because Vader killed kids. And Luke right now in this decision is like, am I about to kill this kid? So it's like he's still having to fight the dark the dark whatever side, the dark side, just a little bit still, even at this point. And especially if you consider, like, so they defeated the dark side for so long, like, and Luke is the most powerful Force user at that time.
That's another thing, right?
So, like,
that's another thing. Think about any movie ever, right? Where somebody, you know, like, betrays and they, you know, like, kill all these people. Typically, the more powerful guy, you know, who's coming back, he doesn't just, like, give up. He goes and fixes the issue that he created.
Man.
You know? This one, he's just like, oh, yeah, he killed everybody, so, like... And then, you know, the First Order starts to rise, and he just, like, goes into exile.
Obi-Wan did the same thing!
For a purpose!
What was the purpose? To watch over the child.
Watch
over a child,
Luke
I guess.
Didn't go for any purpose except that he was feeling like shit. Obi-Wan was trying to save the future of the Jedi Order.
Well, but consider Luke's decision in that moment. His one decision that he didn't even make an act. Like, his action was as little as moving his thumb on the stupid lightsaber switch. And that decision was catastrophic for as many cities and planets.
Then he should have okay, look, alright. If he had this vision or whatever, he lit his lightsaber, whatever, Kylo Ren went berserk. Like, that's still, he should have known that that's still not his fault that Kylo Ren went berserk, because if he had...
Why would he feel that way?
If he felt...
He's the authority.
He's
the authority,
If he felt that kind of, like, hate and anger, whatever, coming from Kylo Ren already, then he was already, like, potentially he was already heading that direction. And so he shouldn't have been like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go into exile because I'm the reason that, like, he's this way. He was already headed that direction.
I don't think so. I think,
and so he should have stopped it.
I think
that's
both
the right thing.
I think
to do.
What's interesting about The Last Jedi is you see Rey, like, you get really this perspective each from Luke and from Kylo through Rey. So, like, we're seeing what she understands based on what they're telling her. Okay, so. But the one thing that they both agree on is that was probably the moment that made Kylo bad. And also the idea of, like I keep going back, like, at that moment, Luke is like the ultimate good, like everybody, you know, wants and loves. But what happens when the ultimate good, the godfather of the universe, the guy that saved the world, thinks I'm a bad guy? And Luke knows that, and when he realizes that, by the time Luke realizes that, it's already too late, and they just both agree that's the moment. Like, that's the moment that blew it all up for everybody.
I still just do not think that Luke would have just, like, given up.
I do, because, like, his one action trying to prevent something bad happening made it worse.
It made it worse, and Luke's character would have fixed it. He would have tried to solve it.
How do you fix something by continuing to be the cause of the problem? Like, how would it fix anything for the ultimate good of the galaxy to continue making the ultimate evil feel like the ultimate evil?
That's like saying in real life, if somebody apologizes to you, it doesn't make you feel a little bit better. I mean, it does. It has an effect.
Yeah, he could have apologized, but
that alone.
But here's the thing. Why are we assuming he didn't try? It's like you're trying to assume, like...
I guess you're right.
It's like assuming Obi-Wan didn't try. Which, if you want to see him try, go watch Obi-Wan, everybody.
He did literally what he was asked to do. Obi-Wan literally did what Yoda told him to do.
So we're hating on Luke because nobody had a favor right before or right after this happened.
It's not a favor. Like, that, there was a mission, it wasn't clear, but there was a mission to raise these kids to help rebuild the Jedi Order and restore democracy.
Man, I mean, that's another thing. So, like, oh my God. It's the same thing, though. The prophecy that Obi-Wan is so concerned with upholding is the same prophecy that leads Anakin to his downfall, which is the same kind of deal with this whole stupid thing. Like, Luke having this vision is the same deal with him, like, seeing a prophecy, almost. Like, this could happen. It's the same. Oh, my God. You made me just like the movie better, having me defend it. Jeez.
I don't get your points, man. I just don't see them.
Man, it's literally the exact same
Also,
thing.
like every joke in the movie again was forced.
I don't like all the jokes, but like it was your mom.
What was great about
That's
the jokes
fine.
in like all the other movies, is that they were natural almost. Like they just seemed like organic jokes. These like felt like they were trying to make you laugh, and it just made it gross.
I guess I don't know. I barely remember many of the jokes. Like I said,
And it was so many too. Why were there so many jokes? Like it was like joke after joke after joke.
I agree, and also I don't like the when they freed all those animals part. Like that's a fine idea and a fine scene.
That whole thing was just
That whole thing. The I kind of like Benicio del Toro's part in that though.
I usually don't really care to complain about CGI in movies, but that was just not my
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, it wasn't.
But I like the aspect of like they go to that rich planet to basically find out that the people making the materials for the war are selling to both sides.
Mhm.
That's a fun idea. That's just a fun idea to include.
I like that idea. Just the way it was done was just.
I agree. Like Finn and like even if you're going like I don't think Rose should have been created at all. I think they should have just had Finn and Rey, continue on their budding whatever or
I
people.
think she was created so they can make that arc.
I think she was
So-
created to avoid it, to make sure they never have that because of Stupid Rise of Skywalker. Who does Rey kiss in the end? Kylo Ren. We saw him blow up 5, and this is presuming
It's weird. No, it's weird.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
5 planets, 5 imagine 5 Earths. Done, and he's dead. This man's dead. I should give him a kiss to make him feel good when he dies.
Yeah.
F
It wasn't
that.
even that. Like, it wasn't even like a death kiss. It was just like, I don't know. It kind of seemed like, I'm happy, you
And-
brought me back.
but
and
that's another
I can
thing.
express my feelings for you now.
That's another thing, though. That's another thing. So, like, in The Force Awakens, it does sort of flirt with the idea that it was Finn and Rey that are kind of getting together.
Yeah.
Or going to be together.
Mm-hmm.
But then there is one scene, the interrogation scene, where Rey is strapped down, and watching it this last time, it made sense. So she's strapped down like this, and Kylo's like getting real close, and he's like, "I can read your mind," just being like, and I was like, "Oh, if I'm a 12-year-old girl, and I'm watching that right now, I'm feeling things," and so I could see Disney being like. I think the 12-year-old girls, like we noticed on YouTube, they're looking up this scene quite a lot, or some stupid version of
I
that,
think 12's a little young, but.
or like literally, whatever, like the teenagers, like I think like the formative year times, people, because those are anytime they do something like or like lean towards something like that, it's because of like Instagram hovers or recommended lists on YouTube that just keep getting the clicks or whatever. It's from the kids that are watching these clips repeatedly. So then in Last Jedi, then you get the scene of like Kylo, doing the mind thing, which I actually liked about Last Jedi. Also, the elevation of the Force powers. We're literally like seeing different things with the Force, and that's how they
the
do.
dyad and the Force. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I didn't mind the dyad thing.
Yeah, and in that scene you see stinking Kylo Ren with his shirt off, with the abs, looking stinking, and Rey even asks in that scene, "Why is your shirt off?" Like it's like definitely a scene put in for the kid, like for the teen girls that are like thirsting over Adam Driver.
I thought that was actually kind of funny because like they didn't know when the whole thing was going to happen or whatever, and like of course it's very plausible. Like that's a plausible joke. Like it makes sense. That could be an organic thing. Like I don't want you to be here right now either. I mean,
And I think Kylo did it.
that's
I
okay.
think he did it on
yeah.
purpose.
But like what I'm talking about is the other stuff like the please hold joke, and then immediately after you see Finn waking up and he's just walking with these bags of spouting water. Like what?
Okay, yeah. Well, all the stuff with Finn, I just that that stuff makes me angry, and that's why I avoid. That of all the things I hate most, it's the Finn
Why
stuff.
didn't Leia just tell them the plan? The entire
Yes, and that stuff makes that I'm less angry about that. It's still stupid. I agree. That one makes my brother mad. That one my brother hates the most. That's the one he hates. I hate the Finn stuff. He hates that one. I like Leia. Are you mad about the Mary Poppins flying? For her flying through space?
I don't really care.
I mean, like that
I
part.
always figured that Leia was going to have some sort of training. Like it's just. Think about it. Even if the last movies were the only ones you saw, the original 3. Say they were the only movies, and you just kind of had your imagination, and you never expected any more movies to ever be made. But if there were, what would happen? Leia would be trained.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was never against it. It was just they found out, but they were kind of focusing on Luke. Nobody else except for Obi-Wan, I guess. Well, no, even back then you wouldn't have known that they were.
Well, they hinted in Empire that she could be stronger than Luke even in that time.
Yeah.
And in fact, Yoda was thinking probably more betting on Leia taking down Vader more so than even Luke at that time, because he thought it was going to take Luke a little longer to train.
Either way, I don't think any of them thought that Luke or Leia were the chosen one. I just think that they thought the prophecy was wrong. So
yeah, by that point especially, yeah.
But yeah, there was nothing saying that Leia, wasn't going to. Her entire planet was destroyed. They were just really focusing on Luke to defeat Vader because he was already, showing Force sensitivities and stuff. So if that's all I ever saw, and I never expected any more movies to come out, and I thought there was going to be episode
9 or
back then it would have been 9 or however they did it. Yeah, she would have been trained. So, the fact that, she would be able to, reach out and pull herself in, that's not a dumb idea to me. Plo Koon did the same thing. If you watch the Clone Wars, there's a moment where they get stranded in space and, he uses the Force to, maintain himself outside the spacecraft in the vastness of space. So, it's not, think about anything else you do and how you kind of have those flight or fight responses. She's Force sensitive. Why couldn't that be a flight or fight response? It's not.
I also think
I didn't mind that part. Those things don't bother me.
Have you ever seen the movie Chronicle?
Yeah.
What I love about Chronicle is and how they sort of do when they're training through the fight. They make it very known. It's telekinesis. When they fly,
I like how they describe it in there. How they imagine it's they're holding themselves.
Yeah. But yeah, exactly. So when they're flying, they're literally using their mind to pick themselves up. As opposed to they're not actually levitating.
I know it's not canon anymore, but the original Clone Wars, the 2 to 3 minute little commercials, between commercials back in 2002, 2003 and stuff that they all put together movies. There was the part with Count Dooku and he literally levitates himself to the ground.
I think.
That was already a thing back then, and George Lucas himself worked on that project.
I think it just plays better animated. I think that's also a thing.
Doesn't matter.
I didn't think it looked good.
It was made by the creator himself.
Well, my whole thing is I'm just saying in this movie they thought made it look goofy seeing an old woman just flying through space. But I'm what's she's not gonna try to bump against anything. So why would she bump against anything? And she's using the Force. So it doesn't matter. People might be oh, how is she breathing in space? I'm if that's the question we're asking, watching a Star Wars movie now, which. I'm not saying she has to breathe in space, but I'm it's 10 seconds. She flew and then air, whatever, all that jazz.
Yeah, I think it's just Force instincts kicked in. Firefly did it themselves, same thing.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Okay. All right.
So you're naming things that bother other people. These things don't bother me at all. I can explain. Even the astral projection, with Luke at the end. I like
that. I love that
I
scene.
thought that was really cool.
Love that scene.
I wish he didn't die at the end. That was stupid.
But but he's just a Force, and they were probably going to do that anyway. Just a Force Ghost in the third movie, and what's so wrong with that? I guess
his hair was wrong with that.
I guess
his hair was so weird in the third movie.
But I do think my one gripe is we should have had one scene of all three of them in the room.
Yeah, that was stupid.
But that was
so stupid.
That
was the initial thing that set everyone off.
But here's the thing.
That started the divide between Star Wars fans.
Well, right.
Not having them.
Well, here's the thing. So Han Solo died in the first one. So yeah, I guess.
That
For
was
the
first
story,
complaint before they put together that it was a New Hope. Before people really thought about it, like that was the original complaint.
yeah, and they should have done. I don't know how they could have done it based on the story they were trying to tell or whatever, but they should have found some way, or they could have even. I think here's the biggest gripe is, Carrie Fisher died. Oh my god! Oh, hold on. Well, I gotta press record one more time on this. Man, you probably gotta get out soon, or I don't know if it's Stormwind still. It's probably still might be Stormwind.
What time is it?
It's 10:30 something.
No, it's 10:02.
10:02? Oh.
Yeah. So
Oh,
we'll do this last round and then.
Okay. So, oh fudge, what the fudge was I saying? Something about, the story with the Right Skywalker. Oh, yeah. So the original plan, obviously, probably would have been, and especially with how much they like to lean on the de-aging stuff, especially now, they could have, if they were all three alive when the third one was being made, they could have had a flashback scene that would show, and could have captured the vibe, and they would have been de-aged, sure, which maybe would have sucked, but they maybe wouldn't even necessarily would have had to de-age them like a bunch. We could have still seen them after the OG trilogy, but before these movies, just to sort of see them just in a room together one more time.
You didn't even need to do a close-up shot. You could have just they wore masks, in the thing, and only took them off at the end. But they could have just.
Oh yeah, exactly.
You could have
Yeah.
just seen him fighting from a distance, and he could have just been talking about it, and it was just like a,
Yeah, something like that. But I think when Carrie Fisher died, that effed stuff up a lot, and you could tell bringing they had to shoehorn Harrison Ford to come back because they needed somebody, and they couldn't film new scenes with Carrie Fisher, but they still needed Kylo to have some sort of arc with a parent. So they're Harrison Ford's still alive. Let's just have him be a Force ghost.
And that very last scene where she did that, I don't think that was her. I think because they did the silhouette.
Mm.
And
it's probably
I did like a visual effect that they did. Apparently those scenes with her in it, she filmed for the other movie,
Mm-hmm.
the Last Jedi. So they reused them, kind of, fixed it into there, and then the clothes weren't the same though. She didn't wear those clothes when she was filming those scenes, and they said I think they either actually created them and then had a stunt double move the exact same way she did, and then
And also for the young
really cool.
the young Leia scenes, they got her daughter to do stuff, and they sort of deep faked on top of her daughter's face, so it sort of matched a little
It doesn't
better.
make sense to me that YouTubers are better at deep faking than Disney themselves.
They just don't know, and they don't take the time.
Yeah,
Whereas poor,
do some research. Just look.
but that's the thing. Poor people have to take the time to figure out all the different little things.
I don't know why when you're making a movie with people who are this age, adults, done growing. I mean, not done aging, but done growing. Why I get that the hype kind of dies down after a while, but think of all the other movies that are successful, even though their sequels came out a bit later. They should just. I'm just tired of movies not taking the time anymore to actually make it good. The whole beauty about Star Wars in general is what they did was special practical effects. Not to say that they didn't go back and edit some things, but it was really cool how immersed you felt in these movies because they felt you could have been there, it's realistic. They were simple with anything that was CGI for the most part. There's a couple things, but overall. So when it came to these last three movies, it was just let's just make a CGI special effect explosion. Let's just kind of give up on doing anything that made Star Wars give you that feel of you being there. I didn't feel like I was ever in any of these movies. I just maybe in the first one, The Force Awakens.
Force Awakens had
where they go to the
way
cantina,
more.
That stuff, yeah. But when they do all these big battle scenes and stuff,
I hate the Rise of Skywalker one because of by the end of that they have all the ships coming it sucks the Sith stupid Palpatine literal Palpatine's there and he's I have 1,000 ships with 1,000 of those laser things.
Yeah, completely unexplained, very dumb.
All that jazz, but also you're looking at it, also, and it's expensive.
They released a comic later where he had that fleet, and I'm and you still lost?
Exactly, right?
Yeah, you couldn't have just pressed the button, say send the big boys.
Yeah, send one.
Yeah,
even.
just one.
But but then it's thinking, and then there's a scene when Finn comes in with the stormtrooper army, and there's a stupid all these ships flying in like Endgame level style. Like, hey, you got
I
a
did
team.
like that he found other defectors, but it was kind of weird to me. Like, unless like you really defected with another stormtrooper in the vastness of the galaxy, like how would you find more stormtroopers and make a group like that?
Also, it's mighty
Unless you
convenient.
left together.
Yeah,
but...
it's mighty convenient. Finn meets the one that
I guess,
also
like,
has a
I
friend.
guess you could say like the Force, guides them because whatever. But like
They didn't even bother to try and even do anything with that either.
Yeah. It's just...
Ray, I gotta tell you something. Never again.
I don't actually mind the whole healing thing because like it's always been a thing where
That's fine.
Watch the Clone Wars, watch certain things, like even Mace Windu being able to like master Vapad, but other people can't do it because they would be drawn to the dark side too much. Everybody has their own kind of skill, It's not surprising to me that somebody would be able to heal, even in video games before. I guess it wasn't a canon, but the Force Unleashed, you can heal. I know it's a video game, but like he does a thing where isn't it like force healing? It's not just him injecting something. It's like
right.
Yeah,
something like that. I don't effing know. But also, but the thing is, both those effing battle scenes, so big, so expensive. I don't give a flip. I don't give a flip about what's going on.
Yeah, it was just over the top. And come on, you couldn't have brought Chris, like the Force Ghost of all like that would have been so cool. I saw a YouTube version of this, and somebody used it using the footage from all the other movies, but like that was so good. I watched. It blew my mind.
The voices was. I was surprised they even got the voices of people, but it was so stupid because it's literally just like. You're hearing like Hayden Christensen or like Liam Neeson. They're like, "You got this, Ray. Hey Ray, you got this."
Where was all that with Luke?
Yeah, did Luke do the voice? He probably did though. He probably did a voice.
He had like Obi-Wan, but
yeah. You're right.
No. I guess it's a little different because like the way that Luke won was. Because his father, saw it. Like, he saw him, and he was like, he's in pain, I don't like this, I don't want this. And that's literally how Anakin brought balance to the Force.
Right.
Because he went back to the light. So I guess that one makes sense. In this version, in, like, the Rise of Skywalker, like, they are kind of loaning her their power, I guess, in a way.
I guess.
Because if they don't, then there's just no way she's beating the Emperor. So but by that logic, they could have just done that for anybody. Like it didn't even have to be Rey. Could have just been anybody.
Yeah, it could. Like if Finn was,
even if it was Finn.
If Finn was so force sensitive and he was just hanging out in the Death Star or whatever that whole time.
Yeah,
could have just been like, hey, there's a guy there. Let's give him all our power. We know he doesn't like it here. Let's tell him, hey, go over there and kill them. Go kill them. Or something.
But like, what I'm saying is, like, all the Jedi that, like, spoke to her could have given their power to anybody. Yeah, and just, and got it done.
And they could have told them what to do, even if it was a random stranger who had no desire to do it.
Yeah, why was it, like, only at the end that they decided to, like,
like, oh, somebody's here. Like, were they stuck in the room?
Thanks for showing up at the very last fucking second.
Yeah, exactly.
Effing second.
It's fine. It's like, literally. All right. You don't plug anything, do you? You got anything to plug?
So what?
The plug? Oh, my social media.
No.
Okay. Oh, then say goodbye. I'll just wave.
Goodbye.
That's it. Or like, comment, subscribe. Goodbye.